Hey Chad, on your left, if you could only do 3 exercises or scratch that, what are the top 3 exercises you think would be most beneficial to everyone, or the top 3 exercises you think everyone should do? What are they, and why do you think those are the ones? By the way, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to you as well. So the 3 exercises, and that's a tough one, but when I get a question like this and I'm going to talk 3 exercises, I'm going to talk exercises that pretty much anybody could or should be able to do. And it's going to be body weight, because you start adding equipment. Again, anybody can do, whether you have specific handicaps, disabilities, limitations through either physical or equipment wise. So one would be walking. And when I say walking, I'm talking at a brisk pace, and preferably carrying a pack of at least 35 pounds. And the reason why is because that is cardio. It's getting you out, you're breathing, you're walking, you're moving your limbs, you're moving contralaterally, which if you want to learn more about that, for the listener, watcher, or whatever, go check out Original Strength. But it's an all-around good, and if you do it at a brisk pace, it can kind of substitute running. Now, if you can jog, run, then do that, but basically you're walking with a pack. Okay. 2 would be the get up, and a lot of people will see it as the Turkish get up. I'm not necessarily talking about the Turkish get up, because when I think Turkish get up, I think like when I learned at the RKC, kettlebell cert back in the days, a very strict form, which through you and Original Strength, I've come to be more comfortable with the get up, doing it just however I can, not necessarily worried about real strict form. Everybody's body moves a little differently, and I get it. If you're gonna do it, like I like to do get ups with sandbags, if you're gonna do it with really heavy weight, then yes, you have to be careful in your movements to get to the standing up position. On that note, let me back up. When I say get up, I'm talking about lying down flat on the floor and getting up to the standing position, however you may accomplish that. And it's super versatile, because like I said, you can do it body weight, or you can do it with a sandbag, a dumbbell, a kettlebell, a whatever, whatever household goods you have around, or like I said, body weight. So you can, like you and I have done, and you turn me on to 10 minutes of just work. So set a timer for 10 minutes and get up for 10 minutes and do it at a pace that you can breathe diaphragmatically, and not be dying or whatever. So there's that. Now the third one, I'm a big fan of pull-ups. Okay. Walking is one thing. The get up gives you a hinge and all that. Pull-ups, and 3 is hard, because I want to say pull-ups and or push-ups, so you get the pull and the push in there, because I just think walking, if you can't do one of those, then walking is huge. But pull-ups, I would say pull-ups over push-ups, because as I think about something like getting up, if I'm thinking in a standpoint of being physically fit for life, being able to pull yourself up, because everybody thinks in the traditional sense of I'm jumping up and grabbing a pull-up bar and doing a pull-up. You could also do this from the ground if you have a bar that's low or a counter that's low or whatever, but the ability to pull yourself up, which is the same as the get up, for elderly people, whoever, if you can confidently get up and down off the ground, that's why that exercise is so valuable. The pull-up as well, if you can maintain that strength to be able to pull yourself up, off the ground or through a window or whatever you may need, I think that's more strength for life. And I think the pull-up may be a little more applicable in that context than the push-up. But The push-up is also there. So I know I kind of went to 3.5, maybe 4. But that's it, man. So back at you. What's your 3?
Hey, so I got to tell you, I was expecting overlap, but I was not expecting a 3 for 3-ish. That's pretty cool. My reasons are different than yours, but still the same exercises. But instead of the pull-up, I would go with, in my head, I was going with just hanging. By the way, you said body weight, no equipment. I know for $19 you get a pull-up bar that goes over your doorway. Okay, but anyway, but hanging, specifically though, without pulling up was my thing, just hanging there. But I was thinking for back spinal decompression to open up, lengthen the spine, open up the vertebrae in the spine, keep the spine healthy. Even hanging with like body weight, but feet hanging on the floor, because I've found that, like, so if you're hanging with your feet off the floor, like say it's tall enough where you can just free hang, that actually reflexively tightens up your spine. The muscles around your spine. But if your feet are touching the floor, you can actually relax and like let the spine lengthen, and that just, it feels good. So hanging, actually, even with the feet on the floor for time or breaths to decompress the spine. And yes, I was thinking get-ups, which is funny for me because like the strict way I learned them from the old school stuff, like I just left it. I was like, screw it. But now that I can swallow my stupidity, the get up in itself is just a beautiful movement, because it's just, that's where strength is kept and maintained throughout your life, being able to get up and down off the floor. But from the Turkish get up standpoint, I do love the idea of playing, not doing anything strict, but exploring where you can move with weight over your head, but because it causes you to be mindful and it teaches your body so many different things. But it's also spinal health because of all the rotation and stuff that you've got to do to get up and down from the floor while you're holding the weight is just super good for your spine. The younger you keep your spine, the healthier you're going to be for all your life. So my third, so to get up is my second. The third one was definitely walking. I'm good with brisk walking even without a weight. If I do a weight, I'm also happy with 15 or 20 pounds. I don't know that a person needs to go. Actually, a lot of my clients, I have them at just do 10. I'm just looking for a small reflexive reaction in the abs with that. So I don't think you have to go 35, but man, that was your thing and your reasons are good. I just have different reasons. But that's really cool that we were on the same page for those things. And even so, yeah, the brisk walking, though, all the contralateral stuff. But so I also like walking though because it gently rotates the spine. If you walk the way we're designed to walk. So awesome, man. I really was surprised that we were like 3 for 3-ish. So I wasn't pulling all the way up. I didn't have a 3.5 with the push up. I think I can get my pushes from the get ups, depending on how I do them, especially if I manipulate a lot of different variables like speed, what kind of load I'm using, eyes closed, eyes open. Do I force myself to lie down on my belly before I go to my back if I'm not using a weight? Do I force myself to roll from my back to my belly if I'm not using a weight? So I was just thinking I could get all my pushes and like unique things inside the get up. But so yeah, awesome, Chad. I don't really have any more questions for you. I'm pleasantly surprised and fascinated by your answers and that we're thinking on the same movement train. Awesome.